and a mouth-watering, breathtaking 910 pound-feet of torque. Today we're checking out the 2022 GMC Seeee Denali Black Diamond Edition in the 2500 heavy duty spec. And not only is this the first pickup truck that I've reviewed on my channel thus far, but obviously it is a massive heavy duty truck. So I'm gonna be bold and say that if you need a heavy duty truck, this is certainly worth considering and quite pricey. But all I'm gonna ask is that if you guys enjoy this video, you throw it a like, and if you wanna see more content like this, that you subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's get out onto the road. All right, so setting off here in this behemoth of a truck, we are cruising on down big old road. And the first thing, the most glaring thing about this truck is its size. It's enormous. While I'm comfortable in saying that it is the heavy duty truck you need because it's so nice, and these new 2021, 2022 redesigned Sierras and Silverados are really fantastic, and certainly in this souped up spec, but it's really big. And I would strongly suggest that if you don't necessarily need a heavy duty truck, if you don't need to tow a whole lot or don't need a really heavy payload, go ahead and get a half-ton truck, get an F-150, get something a little smaller than this. Even the standard Sierra, this heavy-duty version is just, it's a lot to handle, even here in Los Angeles on the city streets. I mean, I could see in Texas maybe, but here it's intimidating. And that can be a good thing too, if you want to intimidate people, but it can be intimidating for you, the driver, as well. Now, I don't drive a ton of trucks, but the other thing that really stands out is how chock full of options and luxury features and amenities this truck is. I mean, that has been and is the most breathtaking part of this truck for me. So sure, it drives like a truck and it looks like a truck, and we'll get into that in a moment, but again, the features. So you have a transfer case where you can switch between two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive effectively, which is what I'm currently in. Then you can go into an auto where it will kind of decide whether or not to be in four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive for you. Then you have 4 high and 4 low, for I guess low speed, intense grades, or even I guess some low traction situations. You have that. You have an off-road mode and a standard mode. You have a towing mode as well as trailer controls. You have a light for your bed. By the way, this is a crew cab with the standard length box. So you have a light for your bed back there, so you can throw a spotlight down at night and see what's going on in your bed. You have an electronic parking brake, which actually is a really nice feature, both because it'll auto engage in any sort of grade. If you're a little bit of a hill, it'll engage, and the second you put the vehicle into drive, it'll disengage, and you don't have to worry about any of that kicking or pulling and pushing, none of that. So that's pretty convenient as well. This also has a head-up display, which is super convenient. I can see a bunch of information right in front of me right now, including my speed. I can actually choose what information to include or reduce some of that information to simplify the head-up display, but the fact that it exists nonetheless, super convenient, makes visibility a little bit easier. Sticking with the theme of visibility, it's just hard to see a lot out of this window, except you can flick a little switch and suddenly you have a camera feed here in your rearview mirror, and that is lovely. Very easy to see what's going on behind you right there. I'll flip it back to the regular mirror. Side view mirrors are massive. Obviously, they're intended for towing. A cool feature is you can press a button right here and the mirrors actually extend a little bit further out, so you can definitely see what's going on behind you. You have that dual layer of mirror. That top part is kind of like your traditional rear view mirror or side view mirror, and the lower portion is a wide angle, so you can really see what's going on behind you if this camera isn't enough in the central rear view mirror. You have spotlights on those mirrors. You have cameras galore in this truck. There's cameras underneath the mirror housing. There's a camera in the front, 3 cameras in the back, actually. One at the top of, I guess, above the bed. Then there's 2 in the very rear. So you can see basically you can see your wheel wells front and back. You can see a full top view aerial shot. You can see a 3D view of the truck. You can see rearward. You can see forward. I mean, you can see just about every angle. That's really convenient, both for towing and other maneuvering purposes, but also just because this is a massive truck. So having that visibility certainly aids you in operating it carefully, I guess. Now, there are a few more options I'm going to get into, but this is a good time to talk about the motor. This is a 6.6 liter Duramax turbo diesel, producing a pretty solid 445 horsepower and a mouth-watering, breathtaking 910 pound-feet of torque. So that's a whole lot of power. Now this truck weighs a ton. This truck can tow about 18,500 pounds. There is, even above this, the 2500 trim that spec'd correctly can tow, I think, somewhere in the low 30,000 pound range, which is just insane. These new generation trucks are really, really wicked. But with this 10-speed Allison transmission, if I go ahead and punch it off this stop sign, it's not super quick, but it picks up speed decently for a massive truck, and more importantly than anything, it's a torquey motor, obviously, with over 900 pound-feet of torque. So you just know this thing can tow pretty heavy load and just feel like there's nothing back there. And that's the beauty of trucks like this. And if you do need to tow, they can't be beat. I mean, you literally can tow a 5,000 or 10,000 pound load and feel like you're towing nothing. So torquey. Now, this is an optional motor. Below this is a standard turbo V8 that has about the same horsepower, but quite a bit less torque. I definitely prefer the diesel in this application. But all of this comes at a price. Now, this is, of course, a Sierra, which is a GMC version of this truck. There is the Chevrolet version, which is the Silverado. This truck, as it is, being a 2500, starts in the mid $50,000 range. But being a Denali, you can tack on another 15,000. Obviously, being a Denali, that makes this the nicest trim. All the luxury amenities I'm talking about, some of which we're going to get to in a moment again. But then this on top of that is the black diamond edition, and that gives you a whole another slate of options in blacks. All the chrome out gives you these big black 20-inch chrome wheels and really just helps the truck look really sleek. Obviously, again, it's massive, it's very long, and the crazy part is there's an even longer bed option than this, so you can just, or box option, so you can really make this vehicle absurdly long. But I think it's plenty big as is until you're moving up to that 3500, maybe a dually, and then I understand getting the biggest and baddest of them all. But yeah, this truck as equipped is almost $90,000, and in today's market with markups, you could easily expect to pay in that high $90,000 to low $100,000 range for a truck like this, which is crazy. I mean, that's a lot of money, but it's nice to know that beyond its incredible towing capabilities and payload capabilities, that it has at least all of these features. Now, continuing on with those features, you of course have LED headlights and taillights, and that's basic stuff, but you also have power running boards, which is really nice. You have a really cool feature here with the diesel truck, I believe it's only with the diesel truck, called an exhaust brake, which is basically like a regen function. So if you engage it, which I currently have not engaged it, but if you engage it and you're going down a steep grade, especially with a load behind you, it will use the heat within the turbos to kind of engine brake and slow the vehicle down without you having to really put a huge burden on your brake pads and rotors. So that's a really convenient feature for an already heavy truck, and then again, a truck that's expected to be towing a lot. You have heated seats. You could actually choose between just heating your back, or heating your back and your booty. On top of that, you have cooled seats, both driver and passenger heated seats in the back. Got a sunroof here. That rear window is powered, as I will demonstrate for you guys. Get a little air in the cabin, or maybe throw something into the back. Super convenient, and again, another little luxury touch. I'm just overwhelmed with options. You have a bunch of safety features. You have blind spot detection, you have lane keep assist, you have front collision warning, heated steering wheel here. I don't believe it has adaptive cruise control, unfortunately, but aside from that, you have a cruise control system, of course. The bed, or the lift gate, is soft open, so you can press a button here, actually it'll slowly open. I won't do it now because there's a little bit of stuff in the back I don't want to fall out, but it's just cool that you can do that. On top of that, because this has the Black Diamond Edition, you have this kind of double lift gate where you can open the top part, use it as a step, or drop it down to use to load maybe some lumber or something over the edge of the tailgate when it's closed. On top of using that little portion as a step, it actually unveils a bit of a tailgate function where you have a kicker audio system, Bluetooth system, and you can bump music, or in my case, one of my videos. All right, so in the spirit of the new year, let's try something new. So, I mean, just chock full of options. I'm going through wireless charging. I mean, it's non-stop, the amount of options, features, and amenities effectively that this expensive and large truck has to offer. Now, this is a great time for me to jump into a quick little tall boy test before getting into the looks of the interior and the exterior. So here we go. Now, as you guys can see, this truck might make a case for most tall boys of any car competing with that Suburban and the Expedition. It doesn't have a third row, obviously, so that's tough, but it does have under seat storage, which I did not count for the tall boy test, but you can hide a bunch of stuff beneath the rear seats. Then there are these cool little cubbies hidden away that I didn't include in the tall boy test behind the backrest portion of the rear seats. So another cool place to hide some stuff. You have a double kind of glove box design, a smaller one up top, perfect for your registration, insurance, etc. The one down below, you can actually, again, hide away some stuff. This center armrest is massive and can fit plenty of stuff. Just a whole ton of storage in this truck, so much functionality, so many features and cool, again, just, I want to call them amenities, but they're also just real usable additions to the truck that help you get what you need to get done. This is a truck meant to accomplish a whole ton of work, and that is exactly what I can imagine that it does. Having spent some time with it, the motor, again, is torquey. This transmission downshifts and picks up speed pretty well. The brakes are not amazing, but that's also because it's just such a heavy truck. I could see you putting some good wear on these brakes if you drive this truck a lot, which I imagine most people hauling around stuff do, but that's just one little downside of an otherwise exceptionally capable truck. And overall, I'm just really impressed with this. Again, it's definitely excessive, and I would prefer, say, a Raptor, which I now see right in front of me, 2 cars in front of me. Yeah, I would prefer that, because what a Raptor has to provide is a little bit more of a usable truck, a little sportier of a truck, and still some of the capabilities. But if you need to tow, screw a Raptor, screw a TRX, which is driving by right now as well. What are the odds? You got to stick with a big boy, a 25 or 3500 heavy duty truck. Obviously there's the Ford, the Ram products, even the sibling Chevy products, but I really do think this Denali product has made a really good impression on me. Now I'm excited to check out the Ram products, which I've seen and allegedly heard have fantastic technology as well. This just feels really, really great. And I think the looks are pretty cool as well. It's a truck, so I don't expect too much, but it looks nice. It looks pleasant. The interior is nice. Again, I do want to see the Rams with the full, large, kind of Tesla-style screen. But aside from that, one heck of a truck, comfortable, spacious, luxurious, and expensive. There's the TRX again. Expensive for sure. Again, the price of a TRX or a brand new Raptor, they're all going to cost you about $100,000, which is insane. But if you need a heavy-duty truck, I would say this is definitely one to check out, and I can even almost make the argument of look no further than this Denali. It's really pleasant to spend some time in, and I know I've been mostly in traffic, so I'll end the video on a little bit of a, well, actually, this is a good time to mention that this really is excessive, and that the U-turn, or the turning radius, is pretty terrible. I can barely make it happen here on a 3-lane street. Just got it done, but too late to jump in front of traffic, so we'll get one last little rip for you guys before I finish the video. Okay, let's see. Pull up behind the Silverado, behind our brethren. All right, guys, well, if you guys have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. New videos are dropping every single week on Fridays. Comment down below. Let me know what cars you guys want to see. I'll do my best to make it happen. As always, this is Rio. Peace out.